Oseo.
Oseo.
I'd like to start out with a Cherokee greeting. I'm going along with that theme today. Wave the great feather for the good of it. Native America, still here, still alive, and so forth. I'm really reminded of this movie I saw somewhere with Horatio Hornblower. So he's an English character on an English ship sometime in the 19th century. And there were some sabotage and things going on that ship. Eventually he got to the bottom of it. He found that there were Irishmen in his crew. They were both even officers, And so he finally, got to talk to somebody about what was going on there. And when the Irishman told him, it referred to something that happened there in the past. And Hornblower was very surprised. He says, well, I thought that was over a long time ago. The Irishman said, not for us it wasn't. So we have that in Native America also. Certainly by the end of the 19th century, the people from Europe that came here and took over figured, same thing, they took care of it. It was over with, but not in Native America, not at all. Here this term, past continuous. This past continuous is to show an ongoing action, especially when that action was interrupted by another action. And the verb tense for that is called aorist, a verb tense that expresses action in the past, but it has no limitation, and it's still going on. In Lakota, it's ohinia, ongoing, never ending. So the word in Lakota is hichani, hichena, past continuous, ongoing here. And that's the idea that I have here with this wonderful print of a painting. I don't know at all, who did the painting or anything about it. But to me, it's full of wonder that's very legible in Native America. And the words under it, a life well lived is a light to the world. That is really, really how we feel. Claudia said, how would you translate that? I said, for myself, I said, living is the responsibility of being alive, and learning makes this living responsible. In Lakota, it's Chankaruta, the good red road. Good red road, denotes living a way that's spiritual, a way that's metaphysical. In the old movie with Dustin Hoffman playing the little big man, which means Coyote, somebody, I don't remember who, somebody in there said that. He said, in the Native American world, everything is alive, even the rocks. In the white man's world, everything is dead, even his own people. That's the difference between the noun language of European languages and the verb language of Native American languages. Coincidentally, Claudia just found out, one of her fellow poets sent her an article, that rocks are alive. I had mentioned that last week, that in Native America there are rocks that get pregnant and give birth to other rocks. Well, we just found out there was a whole article on that over in Romania with pictures and everything. There are rocks who get pregnant and give birth to other rocks. So you see, we're not too far off the mark there at all here. And also in Native America, everything is personified. Imagination means, to personify. So everything was personified here. So especially things that people use. In the particular here, we have, a bow and arrow. Bow and arrow is real, it's alive. People made them, they worked with them, and so forth. There are petroglyphs here and there of just arrowheads. Shape arrowhead. Well, that's synonymous for enlightenment. It's an enlightened person, like that. So that's how we think of it, is one he is that arrowhead. Kin ilea, it means it is flaming. So that's what this is, a petroglyph of a flaming arrowhead person, like that, an enlightened person. Up here, I have, this is a little bow and arrow. This is from Laguna Pueblo. This is a ceremonial. a young person, sometime wearing a buffalo headdress, is holding this when he's dancing here, and all of that. Here, everything here that's taking place, this horse is galloping, through the forest, these trees. Chan is the same thing for Changkaruta, meaning that red way. Everything Chan is like that, meaning like wood, like tree, like that. And here he's in full flex with this flaming arrow to shoot it up into the sky. You see up here. So that's our, it's not just our hope, that's our future. That is what we're living here. Here, this beautiful feather Claudia brought me is from Pyramid Lake. Pyramid Lake, and in here is really fine painting of two figures that very much stick out in Pyramid Lake. Pyramid Lake is my alma mater, and there's they call it a stone mother. It's made out of tufa, I think. And it looks like a woman sitting there with her basket, and then the local people that live there are saying, for the tears from her eyes is what made the lake there. And then there's, a pyramid. The pyramid was actually named after the Egyptian pyramid of Cheops. I think it was the explorer Fremont, maybe it was one of those guys, when he first came around on the far side of the lake. And I've seen it, the sun was shining on that pyramid. It really looks like a pyramid. And it does resemble like the pyramid in Egypt. So that's how it got its name. But the mythical name is Osiris, meaning sky blue road is the name for that. So this is beautiful like that. I did a painting, really big one, of the feather with the pyramid in it. And it was very celebrated. It was in the tribal council house up there, Pyramid Lake, for a long time. Now a woman here, Claudia's friend, has just procured that, by way of Vivian, who takes care of my art as a gallery. She has her own, real gallery. So that's even going to be coming to San Diego, You think of all of that here. Up here, this is a Kachina thunderbird. Thunderbird is the oversoul of Native America. That term oversoul, it's neat, coincidentally. It's actually coined by the Transcendentalists, those sort of 19th century, New England mostly, poets like Emerson had coined that oversoul. And it really is synonymous with what we know as Thunderbird. So Thunderbird gives us our coherence. Otherwise, without that coherence, we're just like falling feathers without a body. So that way I have this one up here, to say something here. I'm going to talk about next week maybe the Thunderbird and what all that means, to me here. And so the idea of the horse's mouth in this case is, Coyote's mouth. This is actually from Octavio Paz, Mexican poet who has been with me for a very, very long time. Even used it when I got my master's degree on Mexico. Vida mia, music and bread, love and sleep, gratis. Great mortal embrace of adversaries that love each other. Every wound a fountain. And los amigos sharpen their weapons well, ready for that final dialogue in the sum total of life. Lovers cross the night embraced, a conjunction of stars and bodies. Humanity is the food of humanity. Knowledge is the same as dreaming, dreaming to know. Poetry sets fire to all poems. Words rise into the air like paper ashes, their images laced into the clouds. The distance between the name and a something fuses together To create is to name and imagine, and now to be born. So for now, grab your bow, feather your arrow, and collect your freedom. There are great plains of buffalo. Graze your heart's fill, and your dreams will be clear. Aho.
Oh.